Sheriff's Moses. Mother. Voted grandmother. And proud Air Force veteran passed peacefully from this life on June 26, 2024, at the age of 71 at her home in Will. Jennifer was born May 4th, 1953, to Troy Clyde Childress and Opal Davis Childress in the Appalachian Mountains of British Virginia. The Childress and Davis families have deep roots in the Cherokee County. Jennifer served honorably in the U.S. Air Force. Station. McConnell Air Force Base in Wichita, Kansas. Beyond her military career, Jennifer was passionate about poetry, music, literature, her faith, and Bob Dylan. For her children and grandchildren, her love and generosity knew no bounds. Jennifer was immensely proud of her grandchildren and was a staunch supporter of their academic, sports, FFA, and scouting interests. Jennifer is survived by her longtime companion and dearest friend, Roger Agee of Welling, daughter Coria Church Johnson, and husband, Jody of Wagner, son Daniel Upchurch, wife Kai of Spiro, grandchildren, Peyton Upchurch, Kaylin Upchurch, and Morgan Johnson, siblings, Linda Childress of Louisville, Texas, Larry Childress, and wife Janice of Ponder, Texas, Sam Childress of Louisville, Texas, Paul Childress and wife Melinda of Stillwell, Kevin Childress and wife Marquita of Holbert, Cheryl Webb and husband Bob Ed of Holbert, Sandra Craig and husband Grant of Stillwell, Susan Beatty and husband Dwayne of Siloam Springs, half-sister Pat Padros of Waterford, California, brother-in-law Johnny Jones, and many beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, family, and friends. Jennifer is predeceased by her parents, Clyde and Opal Childress, brother Troy Childress, sister Rhonda Jones, and nephews Troy Don Childress and Tom Childress. Jennifer, my mother, has a deep love for life. She had the biggest and kindest heart, loved the Lord mostly, and her children and grandchildren, and was so very proud of them and the life they lived. Phone calls and visits consisted of questions about her grandchildren and their activities, school, and ultimately the things that made them happy and what we would all be doing the next time we were together. She had a zest for life and loved her family, her mom, her dad, all of her brothers and sisters, and was very proud of where she came from. She served very proudly in the United States Air Force and was honorably discharged with the rank of staff sergeant. She excelled in her duties and used that experience in the military to give her the strength and structure she would need so desperately She acknowledged and loved her family for helping out when they could, and ultimately found a way to provide and be a strong mind and soft heart for the children that all children need. Let's talk about the things that she enjoyed. First and foremost, her faith. Daily, she leaned on it and held it very strong to her heart. Her close relationship with the Lord, and was not afraid to let people know about it. Her family, her daughter, Corey, her son, Danny. What some are say the reason she made it through life. There were so many times, so many reasons not to give up. But she never did. Her grandkids, Peyton up church, Morgan Johnson, and Kaylin up church. Roger Agee, her longtime companion and closest friend. Jennifer and Roger relied on each other, as we so often do, for companionship, enjoyment of life, care for one another, and occasional hard-headed band. Bob Dylan, it always amazed me how strong of a connection she had to his music, and ultimately the effect it had on her. Poetry and writing. She loved to read and write poetry. And Robert Frost was one of her favorite poets. She had my sister and I memorize and read certain poems when we were younger, and it always stuck with us. My mother was very smart, and she knew a lot about a lot, and could out Jeopardy anyone on any quiz. If you knew her, you knew that was true. Life lessons. There are a lot, but one stands out and crosses my mind to cover many different aspects of life. I remember as a child, I would go to my grandma's house in the summer to spend time there that I missed so much. And one time I would call my mom, and I'd be upset. And if you've ever been in my grandma's house, you remember the old black rotary dial phone that she had until the phone company wouldn't take a rotary dial call anymore. And I would go in the garage, and I would sit on the steps, and I'd call her, and I would say, and she said, "Honey, what's wrong?" And I was like, "I don't know, it's just not the same." And she said, in a comforting voice and very calm, "Some things never stay the same. And dealing with that change is how we learn to grow." That is a very simple statement that crosses so many things through life. And it always stayed with me. It's a profound statement, and it meant so much to me, what she said and how she said it. I look back and remember how passionate she was about my sister's high school basketball games. How embarrassed I was, but now I want to hear that passion one more time. But then I think, how selfish that is, because she's not in pain anymore. She's not suffering anymore. And that's okay. There is one small verse, Psalms 30. "Lord my God, I called you for help, and you healed me." And he healed her.
Yes.
We all struggle with pain. We all struggle with issues. She had a way of dealing with hers in her own way that maybe not everyone understood. And she struggled with that too. But she loved her family, regardless of the last phone call you had or last conversation you had. That is something that meant the world to her. And she really tried. So with that, I'll end with a simple prayer that she taught me when I was a teenager and started having some issues that I didn't know how to deal with. She read it to me. And it's the serenity prayer that probably everyone knows. "God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I said, okay. She said, read it again. And I read it again. And I said, okay. And she said, read it again. The more I read it, the more I understood it, and the more it actually meant something to me. She knew how to touch the specific parts of your heart, your mind, and your spirit to help in times, in a subtle way that was very strong. So being here today at this location was something that she wanted, that she was very specific about. She served in the military at a time where she needed to do that for us. And she was very proud of that. And so, obviously, we wanted to do that for her. So with that, we contacted the Honor Guard from Tinker Air Force Base to do, provide their services. So if we could have them perform their salute.
All those willing and able, please rise for the rendering of military honors.
Thank you. And a few things that I had mentioned. Our mother loved to write and liked poetry, loved poetry. Morgan, her grandson, and Peyton, her grandson, has just some quick, short little poems that she wrote to help honor her. Morgan may have something else, I'm not sure, but so if y'all don't mind, I would like to have them come up and read those in celebration of her life and to the people that she loved. She was not one to necessarily throw this out for everyone to hear, but I think that these are just some really nice things of her writings that she had that we found that were interesting, inappropriate, and so, Morgan, do you mind coming up here? Taylor, do you mind coming up here?
Okay. Grandma used to write a lot. She was very smart. She obviously skipped me and went to Corey and Morgan. But here's one thing that she wrote. It says, 2 of my great-grandfathers fought on the side of the South during the Civil War. My dad saw service in the South Pacific during World War II. My uncle served willingly in South Korea. My spouse received commendations for his service in Southeast Asia. Hit me with your best shot. I served in North America during the Cold War.
Hello, my name is Morgan, her grandson, and I think there's beauty in a way that a person loves, and the way that she did was kind of just embodies all of that. And you know, through all that she went through throughout her life, she still found ways to, you know, give that love and give everything that she wanted to give unto people. And I'm eternally grateful for what it's made me to the person I am today, and I'm sure it has impacted all of you in a similar way. So, a simpler poem. So, it's one that she wrote. Who decided how to measure the amount that we call a cup? And who deemed the way to point to show us down from up? The poet is a dreamer. The writer is out of touch. The writer tells a story. The poet tells too much. They've both got all the answers, and they answer any call. And if you've got all the right questions, they'll surely answer all. I'm only Irish guessing that the answer I'll sure find if I keep hanging around writers and poets, because they're a very special kind. I'm really glad that I hung out with her. Fantastic.
All right, if they can do it, I can do it.
You're good, honey.
You must go out one day when Mom is not around and find yourself in the world with all kinds of sights and sounds. You will travel down a road that you have not seen before. But know that God is with you to open any door. I cannot then hold your hand to guide you and direct. But after many, many years, you'll know this, I suspect. Your little brother in my womb will be there when you get down. And he will also be there when no one else is around. But this I can tell you, you can be all that you desire. Though you may be filled with happiness, sometimes you'll go through fire. But know that your mom loves you. And no matter what may be, your little hand in mine is what I'll always see. So, you must go out into the world, though sometimes slip and fall. Your Heavenly Father loves you. He loves you most of all. Go out into the world. I did it!
The last thing I'll say before we gotta go, is she had a unique way of showing her thoughts and emotions, and sometimes. But just know that if you're here for a reason, and some impact one way or another, at some time, one way or another, for one reason or another. Remember those times the most. And know that this is what she really wanted, and regardless of anything else. So, this is not a sad time, this is a happy time because this is a celebration. And that's what we should focus on, because that's what it is. So, thank you everyone for coming. Whether you had a very close family connection with her, very good friendship with her, or a connection with a family member of her, there's a reason, and she was the impact of that reason. And so, with that, we'll wrap this up, and I just say thank you, and that she loved everyone that had anything to do with everyone